Johnson the third, here for our morning meditation. It is a joy to be back with you again to share these messages that we hope will be inspiring and encouraging. I am happy to share this message today. I think it's needed. It is appropriate. It calls for some thought and some meditation, and I think we will follow a pattern over the next several weeks to try to help build on this toolkit. What we've entitled a toolkit for trying times. A toolkit for trying times. In the hit Broadway musical Annie, the main character offers a song of encouragement and inspiration. I love this song. It is one of those musicals that stays with you. I remember hearing it and seeing it as a child and being reminded of the inspiration that it gave me for whatever it is that I was meeting with that felt challenging in life. And the main character in the song, sang this song in this play, rather, sang this song of inspiration and encouragement in the midst of difficult times. She reminds us and those who that she was singing with and to that the sun will come out tomorrow. You can bet your bottom dollar that tomorrow there will be sun. The familiar refrain from that song still stays with me now. Such words of encouragement or need for those words of encouragement require us to remember that the sun will come out at some time. That whatever it is that we're experiencing, whatever trying times we're facing, that they are not going to last always. They are not permanent. And they are reminders to us that we can make it if we just hold on until tomorrow. Through moments of sadness and grief, through moments of loneliness and despair, through times of tragedy and turmoil, we need messages of inspiration and encouragement. But just like the song, we have hope that tomorrow will be a better day, right? And so we hope that somehow, if we can get through whatever it is we're experiencing, if we can get to tomorrow, things will be different. However, what life experience has shared with us and what we do in the meantime, in between our tomorrow and our now, matters and makes all the difference. It is then that we discover that something has to get us through the night. And we need a toolkit, if you will, in those trying times. It's one thing to know that the sun will come out, but what do you do in the wee hours of your life? What do you do at the 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 o'clock hours of your life? In other words, let me say it differently. What do you do when you're waiting for the real call to make the difference in your life? What do you do when you discover that the things that you've been hoping for may not be coming as fast as you thought? What do you do when you've held up all hope, hoping that things will change, and to discover that they might not be changing, not as soon as you thought, but may not be changing at all? And you have to really recalibrate who you are and what you are and how you're going to approach your life. What happens in those wee hours or the times between tomorrow and your now? I want to say that it's real difficult to be in that place. It's hard when you've been mistreated, or you thought you've been unfairly accused, or you found yourself up against the wall, or you're running out of resources to make ends meet, or you may find yourself trying to figure out how to patch up relationships that seem to not be willing or not be coming together. Maybe it's a family issue. Maybe it's a societal issue. Maybe it's something that's happening around you that leads you to a place where the challenges of life come your way. Well, I want to present to you this promise that there is a toolkit, if you just hold on to it, that we can work through and sometimes and somehow navigate through, if we will. And so let's get to the toolkit, because I think it's important as we work through the toolkit that we research and go back to these things to remind us that we'll get to tomorrow, but we have to do some things in the meantime. The first thing you have to do when you're going through trying times is be patient. Be patient. Being patient is really difficult. Everyone says, be patient, be patient. It is really difficult to be patient when everything in your world is pushing you to hurry up and make a difference, or to make it work, or to fix the problem, or to handle the issue. And those are the moments in which you have to really learn how to speak peace over your own soul and around your environment to say, I need to move with patience. I have to be patient. Why? Because patience allows for you to see all of the decisions and choices that are before you. If you hurry too quickly, and if you move too fast, too swiftly, you may miss the options that are really important for the decisions you have to make. And even though trying times may come, they press upon us to act quickly as they've come to us. So the real issue is to not move as fast as the issue, but to slow down just a little bit in your mind, if no other place, to be able to think through the possibilities and to be patient. Be patient. Before you respond, before you say that word, before you get involved in that endeavor, before you do any of the things that you think you have to hurry to do, slow down a moment, take a moment, and be patient. But also, I want to add to it, be persistent. Whatever it is that you're doing, stay with what you're doing. Be persistent. Don't get off track. Don't get off of the road. Don't get off schedule. Be persistent. Stay with what it is that you know that you designed long before the trying times came, to try to make sure that you're being persistent in your pursuit. It's important to do that until you have another route that makes sense, until you have another road to take. Be persistent and stay on the road that you're on, unless and until you discover something that says it's time to get off of that road clearly, because it no longer provides a route for you to get to where you're going. Yeah, I could say a lot about that. These are challenging times. Trying times can come to kind of shake us up a little bit. So it moves us to the place where we can be inconsistent and lack persistence. To be persistent means you keep knocking at the door. You don't let little things get you distracted. You don't get deterred by someone saying something negative, or someone saying something that they don't like about you. You don't get pushed away because, someone didn't smile at you. You stay persistent. You keep knocking at the door, and remember that just because there was a no, that it is leading to your yes. It's the old sales pitch, but I want to remind you that it's really important to stay and be persistent. Why? Because you never know what you really want in life unless you pursue it with persistence. Everybody says that they want to do things. They want to have this, they want to have that, but they may not be persistent enough to get it. Everything doesn't come easy. I say it to myself, and I've said it to my young adult children, that things don't just come because you pushed the button and door dashed it and said it should arrive, or that you downloaded an app and it made it work. Sometimes you have to be persistent in order to get to where you want to go. And every now and then the universe throws monkey wrenches in the plans to see if you really want what you said you wanted. How about that? And so you want to be happy. Happiness doesn't come just being happy. It comes with actually effort to try to bring you to a place of happiness. If you say, hey, listen, I really want, I said it to myself, to lose a few pounds. Well, today I decided that I was going to walk a mile, and I was not going to eat the cheeseburger. But tomorrow, I think I might have that cheeseburger, and I might not walk that mile. Well, the odds are I'm not going to lose the weight and get in better health. So those are things that we have to call ourselves to push ourselves to persistence, whether we're in the hospital, whether we are serving people in the hospital, whether we are in the larger community, and whether we're in our churches or our faith communities, whatever it is. If you want to build a relationship, you have to be persistent. Okay, I said a lot about that. Being patient, being persistent, but I also want to add being peaceful. In this world in which we're in, that is built in a trying situation, it is easy to be aggravated and irritated with people. And it's easy for others to be aggravated and irritated with us. It seems like the whole world has lost its mind. Everyone's angry. Everyone's frustrated. Everyone's, gritting their teeth and trying to be as aggressive as they can to get to what they want, even if they have to roll over their grandmothers just to get it. Listen, being peaceful is a reminder that whatever you do to get it, that's how you have to be to keep it. Wouldn't you rather be at peace once you have it? But if you put out unpeaceful things, more than likely you'll live in that uh, unpeaceful place for perpetuity. Who wants to do that? And so I want to encourage you to be peaceful. We can disagree. We can have challenges. I think our nation is in need of some peace. It is in need of a place where we can find peace, peace of mind, peace in spirit, peace in our environment, peace in our community, peace in the world. And I'm not simply talking about a flower power peace, which I do ascribe to in some ways. But what I mean by it is there is a peace that in scripture says surpasses all understanding. And that peace, as Paul writes, will guard your heart and your mind in the Lord Jesus Christ, as those who believe in such a faith. The point is that peace does not come with the way we understand things all the time. And it may surpass that. But this peace that we're talking about helps us to not be anxious in our minds and not be overwhelmed in our heart about what's happening around us, but to be at peace no matter what is happening in the world. Be peaceful. Fourthly, and I'm done here for today, if we're going to get through these trying times, just like Annie, the sun will come out tomorrow, bet your bottom dollar that tomorrow there will be sun. And to get to tomorrow, you have to have this mindset today. Be patient, be persistent, be peaceful. But because I'm a person of faith, I have to be prayerful. I don't know whatever happened in a world that has changed so much. We don't do a lot of praying. We talk about it. But praying is not just talking to a deity, to God, but it is a centering moment in which we find all those things we've been looking for: patience, persistence, and peace. We find it in our communication with the one who created us. I mean, really, how much can we actually move and change? I know who can. There's this story that I've shared with you before. Perhaps you may remember it, about two grandchildren out in the yard with their grandparents, and they were spending a warm, hot summer in the garden. They didn't really want to be there, but their grandparents invited them to be out there with them as they were creating a garden scene so that they can do all the things that the young people had never done before. And so they were moving rocks and moving things, and eventually one of the young grandchildren came upon a rock that was really hard to move. It was too heavy. And they said to their grandparents, "We can't move this rock." And the grandparents said, "Well, use all your strength. Work together. Use all your strength." And so they tried to move it, but they couldn't budge it. And so they cried out, "We can't move this rock." So, well, you can if you use all your strength. So they said, and they struggled trying to move it, wouldn't budge. So they finally cried out in frustration to their grandparents, "We told you we can't move the rock." And their grandparents said to them, "Yeah, you can." They said, "Well, I told you to use all your strength." "We did use all of our strength," they said. They said, "No, you didn't, because you didn't ask us." Sometimes our prayers are asking God to help us move what we can't move on our own, to fix what we can't fix on our own, to get us through the trying times because we can't do it on our own. And in those trying times between today and tomorrow, we can't do those things on our own. And so we ask God. God, will you help me have more patience? God, will you help me be more persistent? God, will you help me be more peaceful? God, will you help me with my family? Will you help me with my job? Will you help me with my coworkers? Because I'm about to lose my last, nerve here. I don't know what to do and how to do it without you. And I am a firm believer. Matter of fact, I am not telling you what I've heard. I'm telling you what I know because I've tried it. When I talk to God and more prayerful about the challenges that I face, not that God will fix everything for me. No. Sometimes God says, don't do that, but do this. But in those moments, I've discovered God would show up in my life and change circumstances that I never imagined would be changed. So, what do I say? Get your toolkit ready. And in these trying times in which we are in, they are difficult. And like Annie, the sun will come out tomorrow. Bet your bottom dollar that tomorrow there'll be sun. Tomorrow, tomorrow, I love you tomorrow. For tomorrow is just a day away. Have a great one. Have a great week. Have a great time today and have a great life. I want you to know that you're loved, you're appreciated, and you're irreplaceable. Have a good one. Take care.